Dad Lame Gamer Show. I don't know what to call you right now. Usually when we have people on the show that they have like a back wall of retro video games or just gaming, like everything. This is the first time I'm seeing Quentin Tarantino posters like Pulp Fiction and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Absolutely. I do all of my filming for the channel out in the game room,
Hmm.
and so back here in the office, this is just it's the office area, but who doesn't love Quentin Tarantino?
It's been a while since I've seen Pulp Fiction, but that's usually a lot of people's top 10 favorite films. Would you say that that's on top of your list of favorite movies of all time?
Definitely, it's definitely up at the top. But the one that really surprised me was this Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Hmm.
Um, really great film. I didn't like it when I saw it in the theaters, but I've seen it probably a dozen times since,
Oh,
and I
wow.
thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, it's a great movie.
What would you say is like one of your favorite bits from that movie alone? Because I know that a lot of people recognize it mostly for that one scene of I think it's Leonardo DiCaprio when he's on the couch or the recliner, and then he points to the screen. I think that is from that movie, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's where that meme came from. Um, it, it's got a lot of different memorable moments. When Brad Pitt beats up Bruce Lee, that's pretty good. And then just like the can of dog food with Brad Pitt and his dog is pretty funny.
That's the other thing. I still have not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet, but I know that a lot of people do recommend that one. But as far as like other Quentin Tarantino properties or like any other films, like Kill Bill, I think was another one. What would you say is another one of your favorites from him?
Inglorious Bastards is
Mm.
probably one of my top two or three. Um, really great movie. Obviously, it's bloody, it's gory, it's violent. Um, but at the same time, if you kind of watch his movies, there's kind of a sense of humor to them. So it's a great movie.
And that definitely is. It's been a while since I've seen that one too, but it's like with every other movie that comes out in theaters or whether it's out on television like many years later. I'm pretty sure with you as well that it is tough to keep up with so many films, but of anything that's out right now, what's one movie you would like to see that you haven't gotten to check out just yet?
So I'll give you two
Hmm.
because one, we're dying to go see the new Top Gun,
Oh,
um,
yes.
and we just haven't had time. Being the lame dad, being a dad, having kids,
Hmm.
it's hard to get away to see movies. But my wife and I, this is kind of going off a little trail here, but my wife and I have a tradition where after Thanksgiving every year we put the Christmas tree up, and as we put this Christmas tree up, I drink beer and watch Top Gun while she decorates the Christmas tree. And we've done that for 12 years, so we're itching to go see the new Top Gun, and then the other one that actually comes out this Friday, I believe, and it's only on Hulu, I think, and that's the new Predator movie, Prey.
Oh, really? I don't think I actually saw the trailer of that yet. Did it just come out just now?
It's really kind of been low key, kind of just not really big. Um, and I've seen a few trailers on YouTube, but it's really just on Hulu, so it's not going to theaters or anything like that. But it comes out August 5th, yeah, Friday.
Well, I'll have to look into that because I've been busy with so much content on my end. And I'm pretty sure you as well with a lot of your stuff you've got going on, which congrats by the way for getting close to 500 subs. And you're about 25 away from last time I was checking, and maybe by the time this is out that we will finally push it to 25 subs out and possibly beyond from there. How does it feel to be able to get the chance to be able to make videos, not necessarily for a living, but as a hobby, and be viewed by a bunch of different people, especially those in the retro gaming side, who see it as entertainment that people should check out.
It's it's really humbling, and it's really encouraging as well. I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into my videos, especially whenever I'm doing a game review. I will never review a game and give it a score unless I, fully complete. So you've got, 10 hours to beat a game. You've got to script it. You've got to film it. You've got to do all this different stuff. You understand? Um,
Yes.
and I mean, it can be discouraging, right? It can be discouraging when the views aren't necessarily there, and stuff like that's not kind of going your way. Um, but I say that to say that when you have other bigger channels that recognize or reach out and encourage you, or watch, it blows me away that I have uh, quite a few people across the pond who keep up with everything that I put out. And to me, that just blows me away that I have people in Ireland, Scotland, all over the UK, Australia, that watch you know my content is really humbling, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I can understand that too, because we've had somebody else that was on this show before. I cannot for the life of me remember who it was that brought it up. But like I told them that there was a fan of like my old content back in like the 2010s, like early 2010s, when I used to do interviews with a Bird Series creators, and someone that was a big fan of it came from Australia, and I was at a convention here in Ohio called OhioCon, and back in 2011, they basically handed me this little koala, which I do remember. It wasn't a panda, it was a koala little attachment that goes on your pencil. And I still have that with me, and that's one thing that I always keep with me a lot of the time is the fact that it's motivation because people like them still follow what I do on the side. So it's crazy to see that it's a big world, but at the same time it is a not so big type of community. I guess that's what I would go off on to call it.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you said, it's a massive world, but there is this pretty tight-knit community that, kind of resides in the YouTube, Twitch arena that, I mean, I had no idea existed a little over a year ago, until I started, developing videos.
Yeah, and I think you started around 2021, or when was it that you had first started to upload your first video to the channel?
So, the first videos on the channel uh, went live in February of 2021.
Okay.
Um, but the channel was an idea and a thought that I set on for about 12 years.
That's the other thing I was going to ask about you. Since you were talking about it being just an idea, when the name Lame Dad was your channel name, was it because of the very idea you think that you're a lame dad, or is it because of a comment made by your kids that call you a lame dad?
Oh, so the whole family calls me lame. They do. But I mean, obviously, the dad part. I have three daughters. So obviously, I'm a dad. Um, but the lame part, like I said, my whole family calls me lame. It is what it is. But the true meaning of that comes from, like I just kind of mentioned, this idea, I sat on for 12 years, and by no means am I a huge successful channel or anything like that. But uh, I mean, for 12 years, I wanted to do this idea, and it was kind of a dream of mine, honestly, to kind of make this channel and do this as a hobby. And I just thought, man, if that's a dream, you're kind of lame, guy. You need to kind of shoot a little bit higher. Um, but this is what I've wanted to do.
That's the other thing you made the comment about is that a lot of people do eventually turn this into a career, and I know that some people that watch this also have that ambition, that goal in mind where they want to get to that 100,000 subs or go to that million mark and be able to live off of this for the rest of their life. Is that a particular goal that you yourself see it as, or is it still just the idea of I would like to just keep this as a hobby and nothing more?
Yeah, there's no chance of getting to a million that, or you know, 100,000. That's, you know, it would be awesome, I guess, maybe. But at the same time, um, you know, I have a great job. I love my job. I, you know, thoroughly enjoy and love my job with a huge passion. Um, and quitting that to just do YouTube, I think I wouldn't get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I don't think it'd be successful, number one, and I don't think that I would have a good time with it.
Oh, I gotcha. And, well, since you said that, what if there was, like, something else you were doing for the channel that you saw it as being profitable, but at the same time being enjoyable? Would that have changed your mind, or is it still just, I'm still gonna stick to the mantra of have a day job and do this on the side as a fun little project?
Yeah, I would still just keep this on the side. Um, you know, there's certain aspects of doing this that can really make it feel like a grind. And you know, when you're in that mode, just grinding hardcore, that can definitely wear you down. And for me, this is nice to come home after working 50, 60 hours a week, you know, spend some family time, do my thing, and then come sit down and edit and, you know, put footage together. And it's something that for me, I enjoy doing, and I wouldn't want to potentially ruin that.
Oh, that's understandable too. Does that also apply to your video reviews? Because I know that you've mostly done that as your go-to content. What do you see about video reviews that to you is easy to put together and produce as opposed to something like an unboxing video or something else that you would want to put on the channel as kind of a like another thing that you'd be interested in putting together?
I do enjoy the game reviews. They are a lot of work,
Hmm.
especially when, you know, my whole claim to fame is I like to play bad games and then, you know, destroy them. And you know, it's playing a really bad game and to completion is exhausting. It will absolutely just drain you that you're playing something that is making you miserable. Um, but I do enjoy putting a review out because I'm not some, you know, fancy writer or fancy guy that works at these mainstream media outlets.
Hmm.
I'm just your average guy that works for a living, has to provide for his family, and I want to bring a fresh, um, real opinion to people, you know, to make a decision about a game, whether it's good or bad, and let them have, you know, their own ideas about it.
And that's the other thing that I wanted to mention too is that people with a genuine personality are usually rare online, and I know that some people we've had on here before have had to prove that that is who they are. And most of the other time, there are people who have to push themselves a lot of time to have this energy that they do not have themselves to pull out like every day. Does that seem like that is for you as well, or are you just on the whole mantra of just I'm gonna have chill vibe energy for my videos and not try to overextend it a lot of time?
I can really easily go over the top, but I try to keep it reserved and just try to keep it, um, as raw as I can without being too eccentric or too crazy and upbeat. I mean, you can very easily put an act together,
Hmm.
and that's not what I'm trying to go. That's not what I'm trying to go for. I just want things to be, you know, real. If I'm motivated about something, you know, it shows. If I'm not passionate or I don't enjoy what I'm talking about, then I'm probably not going to talk about it. I um, I have a tendency to wear my heart on my sleeve with everything that I do. And so if I'm having fun and enjoying what I'm talking about, then, you know, you're getting the real lame dad. You're getting the real me.
Especially when the real lame dad is wearing a Houston Astros jersey. I guess that's your favorite baseball team right now?
I've been an Astros fan since I was 5. So part of the lame dad persona, or part of the lame dad channel is, I like a lot of different sports jerseys, and I gotta represent for the home team.
Well, if I knew this, I would have actually brought out my old Emmitt Smith jersey from back when I was like, oh my god, 1997, but I remember that I think I got like red marker on it, but the Dallas Cowboys back then, when it was that decade, they were like one of the best NFL teams that are out there, and you had Troy Aikman, Deion Sanders, and then Emmitt Smith as well. There were a few other people I'm trying to remember at the moment, but it was like one of the best times for them, and it sucked when they lost most of their good players, and it's been kind of an uphill climb for them now.
Yeah, growing up, I live about 20 miles east of Houston,
Hmm.
and everything Dallas we're bred to just hate. Um, but the Cowboys, yeah, those 93, 94, 95, 96 teams, those
Hmm.
were really great teams. Um, and they've had a bit of a rough patch the last couple decades since then. But um, Emmitt Smith was the man, dude. I mean, like he was it
Yes. Man,
until he went to Arizona. Until he went to Arizona, and then he was
oh
past
yeah.
his prime anyway.
I think it's on the matter of just people like Barry Sanders, who was with the Detroit Lions, and had, I think, Emmitt Smith just stuck to that one team, but people just go wherever the money pays them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if if somebody wanted to pay me to go do something like that, yeah, I mean, money talks.
Somebody who ever wants to pay this man a lot of money, then, talk shop with Lame Dad. Okay, so we already talked a good bit about the content, but there's one other thing I was going to ask about on that. And where do you see within like the next year of making videos? Do you see the channel producing? Is it more reviews, or do you see doing maybe going to a convention in the future?
So I just got back from Siege a, a couple weeks ago, I guess now that was the middle or July 10th or whatever.
Hmm.
So I just got back. I just got back from Siege with I got to meet up with Tiger Chainsaw and GameCube Galaxy and a few other awesome people. Um, and before that, I was in Retropalooza. I think in June, me and my daughter were walking around doing some of that.
Oh, Houston,
Um,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So and that's in my backyard. It's right down the street from the house, honestly. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna try to get out to some more conventions. But there's gonna be the next year. I have plans. I have everything planned out. There's gonna be a lot more reviews coming. I say a lot more. There will be reviews coming out to the channel. I try to get 2 reviews out a month.
Hmm.
Um, so my idea, my plan is everybody loves to see me use the saw and just chop up games. So there's gonna be a lot of destruction.
And I'm guessing that's going to be the next thing I was going to ask. Do you see like more elaborate and more bigger destructive pieces that you're going to set up, or is it just going to be strictly just close to medium-sized destruction?
Well, you got to do something to mix it up, right? I mean, you
Yep.
can't just have your one go-to. And so, yeah, I've used the drill press a couple times. I've used the saw quite a few times. Um, I think I have a few more tricks up my sleeve. Living in Texas, I have a gun in every other room, so
Oh
maybe
wow.
I can, blow a couple games up.
And probably set it on fire and do like a crossbow type of little trick. We'll have to see what the channel provides as far as entertainment. But it's awesome that you're able to talk about it out here on this channel, because we always like hearing about any background detail that people are willing to reveal to the people who are big fans of your work.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. It's awesome to talk about the channel. I don't get to talk about it a lot. I mean, my family doesn't care. They think I'm lame. So, you know, my wife will run the camera whenever I'm destroying games, but that's about it. So, it's cool to talk about it.
Yeah, it's also cool to be able to get the family involved in that. And I guess that's another thing I was going to ask. How do they feel whenever you ask them, I need you to hold the camera so I can destroy this piece of technological babble that was like released in the late 80s and the 90s. What was their first reaction when you were asking them to be a part of the show?
It was, I got, I got laughed at a lot, which I was one of the reasons why, for 12 years I didn't do this. I was worried about, people, being humiliated. Um, and like, I still give my wife a hard time. In in 2020, when I started prepping to kind of get this channel going, she didn't understand, and I told her what I was going to do, and she legitimately laughed. And her comment was, "Who's going to watch this?" And
Mm.
I still give her a hard time about that. She's super supportive and she's amazing, but she didn't understand about the gaming community and what's really out there. Um, but my kids laugh at me all the time. But at the same time, some of the videos that are going to be coming out is my daughter wants to do pickup videos with me,
Oh,
and
really?
being the
Wow.
lame dad, I've got to have her on.
That's awesome because I like to see younger kids get into the YouTube thing. And I know that there's some of them that get into it because of it being a business, but I guess that's kind of like the dark side of social media. But when it's just out of heart and it's just some fun little family get together project that basically it helps out a lot better than just giving them something like an Instagram and then they're like stuck in their room the whole time, just not being supervised. But that's the one thing that I like to see about families do stuff together like that.
Yeah, we are. My wife and I are super strict. And our kids they're amazing. My daughters are amazing kids. Um, and my both of my oldest daughters, they're both 9, and they both love video games. But my oldest, she just loves video games. All the retro games. She just geeks out over the conventions, and like her thing now is she's been playing Hyrule Warriors, trying to unlock everything for a while now. But
Oh, wow.
she she's about she's all about the retro stuff. She loves hanging out playing games. And we try to do a family game night every Sunday, where lately I've been smashing them all in Mario Party. So that's been a lot of fun.
And do like the
Definitely.
Bean Boozled little thing, because I know some people do, like, if you roll a 1, everybody has to take one of the Bean Boozled beans and, like, take a try of it. If it's like it's chocolate or it's I forget what the nasty flavor is, but I know there's that. And sometimes whenever you roll a 1, people have to take a shot. I know that's like a big thing too. But yeah, Mario Party for like a family night is, I guess that's got to have its moments.
Every time we do it, one of my kids cries.
Oh no.
It's so awesome. It's those tears are delicious tears. Don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but they can definitely be hard sometimes. So there's justice in those Mario Party games.
Especially if they don't do their homework on time or if they don't take the garbage out. I guess that's karma going back to the kids for not following the rules of the house.
Mario Party's been destroying friendships for a long time. Why
and
not get the family involved?
and now it destroys a family relationship. That's what we like to hear on select screen, destroying families' life stories.
One map at a time.
One map at a time. Alright, well, speaking of things that destroys maps at a time, Terminator. One of your videos that you did was your announcement that you wanted to do a Terminator month. Now, when you were getting that going, why would you pick that as a personal favorite of yours? What to you is one of the biggest reasons you go and say, yes, Terminator is one of my favorite movie franchises of all time?
Well, it's something that I really do enjoy the franchise. I've been watching the Terminator movies since I was a little kid, um, and I've just always really loved the movies, um, and I just love the universe. Recently, I just spent a little bit of money picking up quite a few of the series of the comic books, and I've been reading through those, and it's just the lore um, of the Terminator franchise has just always really intrigued me. And when I last year when I started, I knew that I wanted to celebrate one of my favorite franchises in the Terminator, and I wanted to do so in August because of Judgment Day. From the film was set in August, and so I wanted to just celebrate and share my love for the Terminator, and it turned out to be a very very long month of reviews. I was doing a game review, a full playthrough of a game, and a game review, and then reviewing a movie within about 3 days of each other. It was a ton of work.
I can understand that, especially since you didn't cover over every bit of media for Terminator that's out there, and I know how tough that is for just one content creator to try to put together a piece like that. When you were making that type of format and the whole month of Terminator, what was your determining factor when you wanted to make an episode on something like Terminator 2? How did you determine to get an episode out based on which choices you went with?
So there was a couple things that went into play. Number one was just the calendar.
Hmm.
I knew that there were 6 or 7 main films, and that I was able to get all of them squeezed into the calendar for August, with the exception of one, Dark Fate, that I was not going to review on the channel, and I made that known from the very beginning. And then I got a lot of really good feedback that said, "Hey, we want you to review this anyway." And so I did that. I think the first week in September of last year. But the games that I was reviewing, I just tried to take a look at the time, honestly, what I could find on the shelf readily,
Hmm.
um, and just play through, with the one caveat that, excuse me, that I really wanted to play through the newest game, the Terminator Resistance, for the PlayStation 4.
And I guess the only other thing is, if you had the choice, would there have been something else you would have put in, like one of the games' place? Like, for example, if you had enough room to put in Terminator for Sega CD?
If I had the time, yeah. I mean, so the up until I think a couple of weeks ago, the plan was that there was going to be a Terminator Month Part Two in August for 2022 for now, um, and things just didn't quite work out the way I wanted, the way that I wanted them to, with certain games, certain footage that I was playing through, and so I'm still going to try to put something out for Terminator this month, just because I love the franchise. I think it's going to be a review of the Terminator Resistance PS5 version with the new DLC that was released, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, that's awesome. And while we're still talking about Terminator, if you had to pick your all-time favorite movie and also all-time favorite video game, which ones would you go with for that type of topic?
The movie, those are both tough questions. Um, the games, both questions, I can change every other hour if I wanted to. I think for movies, I obviously love the Pulp Fictions. Um, I would say that for a favorite movie, right now, I'll put that caveat in there. Right now, kind of where I'm at. Uh, I've really been digging the movie Hell or High Water.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, really into that one. I've really been enjoying that one lately. It's something that I'll put on while I'm editing, and it's on, and I just love watching it. I love the different camera shots, the story behind the movie, the actors, um, and then for a game, I go back and forth with a lot of different games, and it just depends kind of what mood I'm in. But if I'm gonna say a favorite game, I'm gonna have to go with the Ocarina of Time.
So
Yeah,
why
I
exactly Ocarina of Time?
It was just one of these games that back then when it was released, I just fell in love with, and I've obviously I've beaten it and played it so many times over the years. Um, and when it was initially released when I was a kid, I was such a nerd about it that I ended up writing strategy guides for game FAQs or GameFAQs.com
Oh
for
wow.
every temple. I was such a nerd, and they may still be up there. I doubt they are, but I was all about the Ocarina of Time, and it got to a point where I didn't have a lot of friends at the time. Still don't, but whatever. I'm mid 40s guy, dad. You're not gonna have a ton of friends, but um, anyways, I got to a point where I was beating that game every weekend and just really enjoyed playing it.
Either way, I mean, I still have never beaten Ocarina of Time, and I think that when I got my Nintendo 64, that it hadn't come out yet, but I had stuff like Deadly Arts, which was a fighting game, and then
Yeah,
there was GoldenEye, Quake, and shoot, I cannot remember the other one. It was not Mario 64, but it was I'm gonna have to remember that now. It's an old memory of mine. But yeah, it was when Ocarina of Time came out. I know that that was like very revolutionary for changing the style of Link to the Past, and it was like nothing was like it at the time. And then not that long after, we had Majora's Mask, and I know some people are mixed about the whole time clock thing where you go back in time and stuff. So either way, I mean, it's not for everybody, but I know that Ocarina of Time has been in a lot of people's top tens for a good reason or another.
yeah. It's so I replayed it again last year, and it's the first time I'd played it. I'd played it in a few years, and I was still surprised again by how flawlessly it holds up.
Hmm.
And yeah, people can bash on Majora's Mask, but I enjoy that one just as much. The whole clock element is just a different challenge.
Oh, definitely is. That's the other thing I gotta do is go back to those, because I think I may have played Ocarina of Time about a quarter of what that game is in full. But same thing with Breath of the Wild. I know that a lot of people are either hit or miss on that one, but I was really impressed when that first came out, and it was like launch week of the Switch, and I brought it to work at my video game store in Muscle Shoals at the time, and I remember when there was nobody in the store, and I'm pretty sure they were doing the same as well, just playing Zelda on their Switch. But yeah, it's one of the few video gaming franchises that always does something different and still seems to evolve over time. So yeah, Ocarina of Time, I definitely need to try to pick that one up again at some time.
My oldest daughter is saving some money right now. She wants to buy Breath of the Wild. I've never played it, and over the last few years, I've really tried to steer away from open world games a
Hmm.
little bit. But she's all about it. She's ready to check it out.
Well, hopefully she doesn't get into something like Skyrim, because I know that that gets a lot of people going, especially if you have a PC and mods installed, then that's a lot of time that you could have on your hands.
Oh yeah, my middle daughter, she's all about Animal Crossing, and we saw on her Switch profile just a couple of months ago that she had played it like 900 hours, and
Holy
we're terrible
cow.
parents. Yeah, we're awful parents.
I know that that
But
one gets
that's all she plays.
no, it's like leave your kids alone for a certain amount of time, and then you notice that they literally have picked out every single villager and they base them on like their personality and like some other items you can get exclusive to them. And then of course there's the DLC, which is like Happy Home Designer, but it's like on a different
Yeah.
island. It's crazy how much time I've seen people put into that game, but I think it was amplified during the pandemic when it was like nobody else had anything going on except virtual villagers, and you could see your friends on another island, and that was like the go-to game around that time. Aside from
Well, yeah,
Final
'cause
Fantasy VII.
it came out like around when things went into lockdown.
Yes.
And my middle daughter, she's very creative, and like Animal Crossing and like the Minecraft is right up her alley.
Hmm.
And so she just, where my oldest likes video games in general, she really likes those two.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's the other thing about Minecraft is my oldest nephew still likes to play that one. And I know that they have a lot of servers that are out there. Does your daughter play on any servers with friends, or is it just mostly a single player experience?
Yeah, it's just single player. We do have like the Switch package for online or whatever, but like I said earlier, we're really strict with our kids. Very strict with our kids. I feel like you got to be in today's world. But we try to protect them. I want my kids to, they shouldn't have to deal and see with a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. So I try to shelter them and just try to protect them a little bit, keep them off of different servers or really much online at all.
And it restricts certain access to certain social media platforms because I know that there's that stigma of bullies that are online. Is that, as a parent for yourself, the one biggest thing that you worry the most is about online trolls?
No, I mean not necessarily trolls, but there's my wife was explaining something to me the other day where there's a TikToker or whatever
Hmm.
who basically was just going out to different social media platforms and was explaining to parents how easily like a grown man can fake being a kid and
Oh yeah.
just so it's stuff like that, being a dad and having three girls, having three daughters. um it definitely kind of makes you change the way you think a little bit sometimes. I've got to protect my kids.
We pretty much got the whole recording, and I think that there's not a whole lot left except for one final segment, and we'll get back to you at a different date because like I said, I was doing a recording with another person, which I think that interview's out. But hopefully in the next year, we will see, hopefully your channel explode into maybe 1,000, 2,000, and maybe it'll be 10,000 subs by next year. But let's get into the final topic of the recording, and everybody knows it as the 5 count. So this is our little highlight special that we like to showcase 5 different content creators that are picked by you, who you think deserves to be viewed by anybody that is watching this recording right now.
So one of the guys that I reached out to pretty early on in my YouTube career, if you want to call it that, is a channel by the name of Drink and Games with Josh.
Oh
Um,
yes, I recognize him.
yeah, awesome guy, awesome guy. He actually was one of the guys that helped me start the Dad Box community package I started last year. Um, Josh is an awesome guy. He's always doing unboxings and just a really great guy. Uh, Another guy that is another fantastic guy is Scott from Sega Blocks. He's a fantastic dude, huge part of the community. Definitely deserves to be checked out. Great guy, great friend, great dude. Obviously, big Sega guy, loves Sega.
Hmm.
Um, and then another guy that I keep up with quite a bit. He's putting out 2 videos a week, so he's really hitting it really hard. And that is Jay from Square Pegs.
Oh yes.
Uh, Jay, yeah, Jay's awesome, man. I really enjoy Jay. He's a great guy. He puts out great content. Fantastic dude. Does great work. And then I'll throw one overseas at you. And another guy is Generation Pixel. GP is a awesome guy, awesome dude. Does a lot of different things
What
within
was
the
the channel again?
community. Uh, Generation Pixel.
Generation Pixel. Okay, it cut out there. Sorry about that.
No, yeah, he's a great guy. Um, does a lot of great work. Really good guy. Does some pickup videos, some unboxings, um, some Sega Master System Challenge, that kind of stuff. Really cool guy. Definitely recommend checking him out. And then the last guy is another guy from across the pond, and that is Super Jim Tendo. Um,
Okay.
and I absolutely love everything that Jim puts out. Um, Jim puts out stuff that he wants to put out when he wants to put it out, which I greatly respect. You know, sometimes doing YouTube, you can kind of get into a mode where you feel like I have to have a deadline, I have to have this out, you know, I have to have videos dropping every other week or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, you know, he does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, which I really admire and respect. And he just puts out hilarious, you know, content that's quality content.
And that's 5 different content creators, and that's the other thing I was going to make the comment about is that a lot of people usually lose sight of just coming out to whenever they're comfortable putting videos out, especially when some of them that are YouTube partners or they get paid to do this full time is that it does sometimes lead to YouTube burnout. And I'm pretty sure with you yourself just doesn't want to get it to that point. And I'm pretty sure you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. But yeah, it's one thing a lot of creators I see sometimes just lose sight of it, where it's like, of course I want to get subs, but I don't want the algorithm to like swat me away. So hopefully, whenever any of your videos come out, that people do get to see them, because that's the one aspect of YouTube is just to be fun instead of just making it only as your day job.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're getting to, I feel like if you're getting to a point to where it's that much stress on you, or you're, you know, you've got that mindset where it's just I've got to get this done. You know, there's, you know, that can start impacting, you know, obviously your happiness, what you're doing with life, and then it can also impact the quality of the content that you're putting out. And that's something that I'm a big, you know, advocate for, is that, you know, I want to make quality content because I want to watch quality content.
And it also affects you mentally whenever you're just trying to get this stuff out, and it's like you're pushing it to the point of just like wanting to quit YouTube altogether. But from the way that I've seen some of your videos so far, that it doesn't seem like you're gonna get to that point whatsoever. But I know that I was trying to say something when you were about to talk. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay. It's all good.
Alright, well, we're pretty much at the end of the recording, but there was one other thing I was going to ask you. I know that you mentioned about it. Why Top Gun as a Christmas movie?
You didn't know Top Gun was a Christmas movie?
No, I did not. Why was it a Christmas movie?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that just I think when my wife and I we were first married, we've been doing this 12 years now. It's just, you know, I grabbed a six pack. You know, I drug the tree from the attic down. I grabbed a six pack. I wanted to watch Top Gun, and you know, drink beer and watch Top Gun. And so like we've done it ever since. And well, I take that back. We missed doing it in 2021, and she told me this year that she was pretty upset that we didn't do it. So damn straight, I did it this year. Or I'm gonna. I'm sorry, that was 2020. I didn't do it. I'm sorry, 2020. I didn't do it.
Which is understandable, because I know a lot of people were experiencing a lot of lows during that point. So it's good that you're still keeping it a tradition, and any other off-ball movies can become Christmas movies if you put it in that way. But holy cow, we actually did get a good enough recording into for this whole bit. But we'll hopefully check back in a year's time, or whenever we decide to do a second recording. But big thank you, Dad Lame, or whatever we want to call you.
Lame dad, man, lame dad. The
Hell
lame
yeah.
dad.
Oh wait, I said Dad Lame because I was looking at the Twitter handle. Anyways, Lame, and I can't even speak right now. But Lame Dad Retro Gamer, it was a pleasure to have you on for the recording, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Absolutely, sounds good.
All right, well, until next time.